This conference will now be recorded.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to thank everyone for being here. I hope it's not a super late meeting. I don't think it should be, but I do appreciate those department heads that don't normally report this meeting. I appreciate all of you being here because we are only meeting once in November. We will start with approval of minutes from the regular meeting, October 28th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the October 28th, 2025 minutes.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Announcements. I have one item to add to the agenda. Item number 6 under new business will be the special event application for the turkey trot. Any other announcements? I know between now and the next meeting, there'll be a lot of festivities in town. Parade, chamber, small shop day, and all of those kind of things. So appreciate all the people that make those things happen and attend as you are able. Any other announcements? Okay, we will move on to open discussion. Having none, we will get started with our department head reports. We're going to hear Bob's monthly report, and then they had an election of officers Monday night, and I asked him for us to ratify those tonight, and so I apologize for the late notice of that, but I've excused him from the December meeting. He will be on duty watching a pinning ceremony for one of our firefighters, so I think it's important that he be there rather than at our meeting in December. So I wanted to ratify the elections when he was actually with us, so we'll do that after your report.
So you should all got a copy of my reports. Any questions? Nothing big, I don't think jumped out.
Are you still gonna appoint someone, and even though you have an elected officer ballot there, are you still gonna have your appointment?
So yes, our appointments will be, we'll be working on those over the next couple of weeks to make sure that everybody wants to stay, or if we need to make a change. So, as far as the election is, it's fine with me. We can move forward and work with the people that have been nominated and elected. I don't think it was a big split, so excited to move on that part. Yeah. So when I asked to be excused from the next meeting, that Jared Hill will be graduating from his fire academy, and their pinning ceremony is that night, and the staff would all like to attend.
How far do you have to travel for
Sure,
that?
let's go.
Oh,
Yeah, he chose to go to the fall-winter class at Churubusco. Most of our guys go to the spring-summer class in Kimberville, but Jared wanted to get it done before it got into, he said, like baseball and softball season next year for his kids. So.
the Sheriff's Department courthouse activity sounds like that will be interesting. Have you ever done anything like that before?
We did it when we're talking about the active shooter.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Scott probably knows more about previous ones than I do. When I first got here, I sat in on one, and it was a little different than I was used to. But over the last 7 or 8 years, things have changed a lot. I think, well, one is they've included the fire department in the planning of this, which is very nice. We'll have just a little teeny role, but I really appreciate the fact that we're doing weekly meetings to iron out bugs that we've discovered the week before, and I think it's gonna be awesome. So don't freak out when you see a bunch of stuff around the courthouse on 14th, Scott? Sound right?
Ninth.
Oh, no, it's the ninth.
Nine.
Your
It's the day,
report
it's
says
the
the
day
ninth.
of the meeting, yeah.
Okay, anybody have any other questions for Bob? Okay, then we will ratify your election results.
Can I ask a question about the election results?
Sure.
My question is the deputy fire chief position, is that an elected position?
It's appointed.
Okay.
It's appointed. When I first came here, I asked the council if I could appoint one person. Being new, that I kind of took interviews and personalities and maybe you've heard when I came here, it wasn't a good fit for everybody. So I asked if I could appoint that position, and it's been a valuable position. And then I also appointed the assistant chief of EMS and that's Dick Owen, because we really only have one person that kind of even fits in that category with his medical knowledge, and he's agreed to stay on. So, yeah.
Organizationally speaking, what's the difference between the assistant chief and the deputy chief?
So the deputy chief in the olden days, when I had another job, the biggest thing was he was to come to these meetings, or they were to come to these meetings and interact with you guys when I couldn't be here. But I also put a lot of stipulations on them, like they are to schedule all activities and trainings, public service training such as CPR, AED, stuff like that. Basically, they also schedule the part-time help, which that'll back off a little bit. So, yeah. Probably not a crystal clear answer, but kind of whatever we need them to do.
Okay.
Okay, so the ballot as elected on Monday night's meeting, the assistant chief for fire, Brian Tigner, captains Rob Davis, Connor Marks, Cody Forker, and Matt Frick, and the two board members, Mike Adams and Phil Jacob. I would entertain a motion for the ratification of the election results.
I'll move to ratify that.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anything else, Bob?
Nope.
All right. Thank you. We will move on to the police department. Scott?
Hopefully everybody got a copy of the report. I'll gladly field any questions. Otherwise, not a lot to discuss. My squad car is later on the agenda under the RDC topics, but besides that, if you have any questions, I'll gladly try to field them.
I would just comment, I've been attending the school board meetings along with Scott most of the time, and I appreciate what you guys have been able to help. I know when you were approached, we can offer only limited services, but the new position will be effective December 8th. So
Hopefully December 8th.
So thank you for doing that. We were kind of in a position where it needed to be done, so.
Not a lot of options. So.
You're talking about helping out at the school with the SRO officer.
It was my understanding they had called you and the sheriff's department both.
No, I haven't seen the sheriff's department much, but
No, they told them they weren't available.
oh, okay, yeah. Well, maybe that's why I haven't seen them then. I wasn't aware of that call. So, yeah, we're keeping busy there. It's nothing outstanding, just day-to-day stuff. So
The guy at the Dude's Corner, you said his name's Larry, his name's Randy.
my error. I call him dude. So
Yeah, I'm just checking.
oh, I thought you were correcting. You're right. My bad.
Okay.
I remember a lot of names, but who's that sitting up there? Chris.
Just told me.
Oh, that's right.
I called him something else.
Yeah, I was just reminding you.
That's all right.
That's why he uses dude, it's safe that way.
It's easy.
Still call me
Why you guys look alike?
Anything else for Scott? Thank you very much.
No problem.
On to the town manager report, Steve.
Thank you. Yeah, I had sent this out unfortunately late it was today, Vicki had reminded me of that I may not have sent it out last Friday, and I did not, so I apologize for that, but you got it electronically, I hope. And if you have any questions, be happy to answer anything. And I will add one thing here. You notice I'm sitting with Casey here this evening, and he asked me if I'd like to join him at the table. And I said, sure, but he said 2 conditions. You have to wear an orange, and you've got to get your hair cut shorter than mine. So I'm sorry to say I failed you, but I did.
No,
bring
I
an
asked
orange
if I
cut.
could sit here. 'cause I
You brought an
don't
orange
understand.
Thanks.
Anybody have any questions or comments for Steve?
Other than, I need to know, where are we with the Rolling River? Does anybody know where we are with the Rolling River?
Bluffs.
Yes.
Subdivision, the acceptance of the streets.
Yes, do we know where we are with that?
Yes, we do. Kurt, our attorney, had weighed in indicating that he needed a couple of things, and it had to do with, well, the legal description for the streets that we want to accept. And then a little beyond that, we had identified through our technical departments that we needed, I believe, 20 feet of easement for the underground infrastructure there, which was sewer, sanitary sewer, and water. And so I think part of Kurt's request is that I think he needed a legal for that as well. And so anyways, I have a request into the county GIS department, Steve Hook, to look into the subdivision there to see if anything was recorded back in the day when it was, when the original plat was recorded. Because that's what Kurt suggested, that typically those things are recorded at the same time. And in fact, that's kind of required in our subdivision ordinance. So that's where it's at. I'm waiting for any kind of technical advice there. And if we find the smoking gun, then well and fine, we can kind of proceed at a pretty fast clip. If not, I think the next step is we approach Keith Leatherman and particularly the owners of that subdivision and ask for them to provide a legal description of those 2 items that we need before we can move on with the acceptance of the street.
Okay, so how, let's put a timeline on that. How long are we gonna wait? Because we've already been waiting.
What's the importance? Or
Well,
what's the need for the timeline? Let me rephrase the question.
because I think Keith asked us to do that 4 months ago.
I'm guessing we should act on it in January, that, we need to get this information first researched on the part of the county. And then if not, we put it in the hands of Keith and the owner of the property for them to come up with a legal description.
I thought we already asked him, right?
I'm sorry.
We asked him already, right? And he didn't have, I mean,
He didn't have that.
He brought what he
He
had
did,
and it
because he doesn't
wasn't.
own that property.
Yeah.
The portion.
We
where the
already
existing
asked him for
streets
the
are.
information, he didn't have it.
It was,
Well, we have the legal of the whole plat, if you will, the whole, plot of land, but nothing defining the streets. Whether they have it or not, I don't know. I don't remember if Keith was asked that at the time or not.
so he's waiting on us to move forward with the developer.
I don't know if Keith he's certainly waiting on a decision, yes, for us to, and I think, as I recall, the decision to accept the street does
We
predicate his
already
decision to
agreed
move
that
forward.
we would.
Yeah.
But we haven't because of this,
Documented.
because of this documentation. So in order for us to move forward, this is where I'm going. We're not moving forward.
My question would be this, Chris.
Okay.
Okay. If the transaction of this happens, Keith is gonna have to have a survey then, correct?
I don't know. I'm just
So-
saying that we're at a standstill and we're not moving forward.
Well, we are moving.
I
it's
mean,
just been slow.
we've already told Keith we were going to take over. We're working through it. I mean, I don't know what the,
I'm saying that
I was under the assumption, because we haven't heard from Keith, that his wheels were moving slow.
no.
No, it's in our hands, yeah, at this point. And we may have to turn it over back to his hands depending on if we can, if the county can find the recorded information that might be the smoking gun. Now, we may have it somewhere in our files, but,
He
you know,
hasn't
that's
actually bought it
usually a
yet,
lost
has he?
cause. Pardon me?
he hasn't bought it.
Yeah, that's why I thought-
So that's why I'm a little confused, is if you're implying that we're holding up Keith from moving forward.
I need to know, I thought he had made a commitment to purchase it.
Just as we have made a commitment to take over the streets, but I don't know that any transaction has been completed.
Okay, so I guess I'm not in the
yeah,
picture.
that's why I thought it was in his hands, because we gave him a commitment, but he had to purchase it.
And
That's my
he was
understanding.
kind of waiting to see if we would accept it, which we
Which
said we would.
we gave him a
Yeah.
verbal that we will,
Yeah.
we just haven't officially done it for various reasons, but I didn't, under no circumstance was I under the impression that we were holding Keith's
And I remember the
advancements of
email,
purchasing it and then continuing.
Kurt
Okay,
needs
so
additional information on the existing property, which is not owned by Keith.
So he doesn't think we're holding him up.
Not that I'm aware of, now if it's
Okay.
mentioned to someone else, it's not.
Well, that's all I want to know. As long as he doesn't think we're holding him up, that's all I want.
I think it's moving, but it's not moving very fast.
Have
As
you
soon as
heard
we
from
have,
him lately?
No, I have not. The last time was shortly, let's say, after that meeting, probably within 2 or 3 weeks after that meeting, where he said he had to go out of town, and, you know, I don't know exactly what his travel plan
We've
is.
committed to accept.
Yeah.
Yes.
we already told him that.
Corey or Terry, do either one of you know anything? More than
He
what
has
we-
been out of town. He is back in town. He was in Colorado.
Right, well, we've committed,
Yeah, we gave him the verbal that
Mhm.
all right,
we were
well,
going to do it, we were just, the legality behind it and making sure documents was right was what everybody's gonna be working on, and then him purchasing the actual land. 'Cause there's-
well, there has been work done out there.
Mhm. By him.
Okay, all right. Well, I just assumed since work had been done out there that,
He had bought it.
yeah. I mean, people don't usually let you do work on their property unless you,
Well, and we don't usually do things for people that say they're gonna do something until they really do it. So we did commit, but why would we?
usually people don't let you do work on their property unless you bought it.
Well,
And then Chris, to answer your, like, another statement was when Keith purchased it and has the survey done, I kind of anticipated the legal description of the roads would be included in that, hopefully. So if it wasn't available there, then it, you know, the legal description could become available based on what Keith purchases, hopefully. But I don't know the ins and outs of that either.
Okay. All right, I just want to make sure that we're at least moving along.
Will you check on that with the county when you get a chance?
I'm sorry, Daryl.
Will you call your person at the county and ask them?
I will, yeah. I have a feeling I asked him, sent him an email yesterday, and I didn't hear back from him either
Okay.
yesterday or today, so he may be off for the holidays for all I know. But
Okay,
first thing next week,
That
I
makes sense.
plan
Thanksgiving.
to follow up to see if he can help us with that research. And then, but if not, then it goes back to Keith's hands, unless we want to hire Kurt to do, you know, of course, Kurt wouldn't do it, really. It would be a work of a surveyor to you know, delineate what the legal description would be of the current streets. And then I think it's our easement that we need, we identified 20 feet. That's outside of the streets, or?
Yeah, it's between two properties.
Okay. Yeah, so that's why we kind of need a twofold legal description of both the streets and easement that we need.
Have you talked to the existing property owner who owns the streets and the sidewalks and all that stuff currently?
I've had no communication with the owner of that land, no.
I don't have any, I have no further questions.
Okay. Anything else for Steve? Okay, thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
We will move on to the park cemetery. Casey, let's take care of cemetery first, if you don't mind.
I think the only thing I have on cemetery is, I think most of the leaves are done, and, yeah. So, other than that, do you have any questions on the cemetery? All right, so lengthy report, I'm just gonna go in order. Them are the action items. So I had one question on the mowers, but we'll get into that. Sent a cover letter. I'm recommending that we purchase 2 mowers with 1 trade-in, for the purchase of $35,391.94 from True Land John Deere of Fort Wayne. We are gonna keep our John Deere mower with a bagger on it. We did, in doing all this, we had a transmission go out on it. I was wanting to keep it anyways, because the bagger quote was like 5,000 to 5,500. They only wanted to give us 5,000 trade-in, but putting $3,100 in this mower just makes sense to keep it now even more. So anyways, funding sources are listed below. Prior to putting this packet together, I had met with Steve and Carol to go over all the budgets that we had put together for 2026 and 25 for the encumbrances. So we're all on the same page. So I'm asking for that approval.
Anybody have any questions for him on that? We're gonna take each action item as we go. If no one has any questions, I would entertain a motion.
Just for the John Deere, this is the item we're talking about.
Yep, 2 John Deeres, had 3 quotes, 1 9-quoter, and within $300 or $400 of each other.
Alrighty. Make a motion, we buy 2 new John Deere mowers with 1 trade-in from Truland, John Deere in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Total price is $35,391.94.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All of those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, let's move on to the splash pad.
Yep, and I want to, one thing, we had a park board meeting on Monday, and the next item was the only question on warranty, and the warranties on the park mower, or the John Deere mowers were listed out 3 years or so many hours. So they did approve every item as we're going through it, but they did have some questions also. So the splash pad, we're gonna start with the PLC. We did have, there's only one vendor that Canada sells to, and that's up in Michigan, and that's the quote I have, for $7,541. The question was, Dan Gagan asked about the warranty. I did not have that. I did email him during the meeting, and she was in a vendor's meeting, but she did send it to me. It's a 2-year warranty. And so I do have that on email, so which is pretty standard. So I am recommending that we go with Great Lakes Recreation. We've been talking about this for a long time. They're 4 to 6 weeks out. Scott Toner, who's going to be installing this, is on with us, but we'll talk about his quote next. We talked to Daryl that day. Scott was down there. We talked to the vendor. I'm very confident in how we're moving forward. We've been ghosted twice with 2 vendors. Daryl's been in the loop on this whole thing. He understands the system, and we're gonna have with the new PLC, we will have our own program, correct, Daryl?
Yes.
So at this point, we do.
Scott can load it,
Yeah, Scott,
download it,
yeah,
so we'll have a copy of it in case something happens, say we have a lightning strike. Take it out, we should have backup program.
yep,
So the Great Lakes, your recommendation is to purchase the equipment from them,
Yes.
not the installation?
correct, yes,
Okay.
yep,
And it was 7541?
yes,
Okay.
yep. And the funding source is listed, also.
Okay, if there aren't any questions, I would entertain a motion for this as well.
I make a motion, we purchase the equipment from Great Lakes Automation,
Recreation,
Recreation,
sorry, Daryl.
for the amount of, how much, Casey?
7541.
7541.
Have a second?
That's good.
We have a motion, a second. Any other comments or questions? All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now on to installation.
The install, the original quote was from, Great Lakes. And that was over my threshold, even though that Scott's is under our threshold, I want their approval, tonight, to have Toner Electric at $4,450 to install, this, PLC computer. Scott met me down there. We did do a phone in with Daryl at the time he was camping, and they did chat some on this. Scott is on right now. He's very confident. He's also going to give us an hourly rate to work on the plumbing, which he has no problem helping with. So I'm very confident that spring we will have all this completed. Scott, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Daryl, or anybody, does anybody have any questions for Scott? I'm happy to say he is a local, who lives in Albion. He has his own electrical company. I'm very confident moving forward with this.
Nice to find a local vendor.
Well, it's been a challenge, and so happened to say something to Scott, and man, it just all came together.
I just will say that I think Scott is capable, totally capable of doing the work.
Okay, don't make me say it again, guys.
Make a motion that we contract with Scott for the installation of the PLC in the amount of,
$4,450, and that would be Toner Electric.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
I
Opposed? Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Next item, I would like the approval to start seeking quotes for, cameras, a camera system. Ed Diamonds, we've talked about this for years. We had our wayfinding sign hit at the last snow. If we had one on the pole, we'd definitely at least see the vehicle. It's amazing how many times I've used my camera on our building at the park barn, either returning disc golfs, or just other instances, so that went in the park's favor. And I just think for the safety of the community and kids, and it's time. So we do have budgeted this year, $20,000. So it would, it'd be one of those things, I think we do an RFP, what can you do for 20,000 and kind of spec it out. I assume Scott would be willing to work with us. We've been in talks for many years. We finally got the infrastructure in place with LigTel. The question was brought up at the park board meeting on Wi-Fi versus hardwire. Way we have it set up right now, we're gonna have it hardwired for three setups, but it wouldn't take much more from going to the park barn or office to the splash pad. And the splash pad is a big goal of mine also. So, but, we've got to start somewhere, and I'd like the approval to, start this process. And during the winter, it gives me a lot of time to get, with vendors, and that's why I want to get it, going.
I don't think we usually get a motion for this. Do we need that, or can we just give him a blessing to go?
I can just give them.
Plus, you got to
Yep.
Next item, same thing with the paving. Even if I brought in February, March, a paving crew to do what we want to do, we'll be lucky to even get the paving done next year, the way that everybody's so full. So I want to get going on this. It's gonna be approximately 200 square feet. The ADA handicapped area where you can get out of your wheelchair or scooter or whatever and go down to the ball diamonds with easy access. About 13, 14, 15 years ago, we paved it and only did a base. And we spent $5,000 2 or 3 years ago to do a spray. It only lasted like 8 or 10 months, and it's time for a top coat. So it's going to coincide with hopefully our project that will get approved moving forward with the playground. It won't affect it. We'll be able to do construction in the future, even with a nice paved parking area. So for handicap. So I like the approval to move forward with seeking quotes on that.
I think you can do that.
Next thing is fireworks. With Celebration 250 coming next year, I think it's a great time with with how popular our display is, with everything that's going to be going on next year. To add $2,500 to our fireworks show, we draw in hundreds and hundreds of people. I'd say 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people. I understand there's going to be a day of celebration, and so I'm seeking approval to add $2,500 to the fireworks show. I sent in your packet what we raised last year. I think our average has been $7,000 to $9,000 in donations. Plus we used some out of seed it, and plus we have some balance there for for things that we do spend money on. I think we did 5, 6 porta johns this year, and they were still full. So yeah.
So Casey, I have the contract in front of me, and
Yep.
it's for 11.5, so we already had 9,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And Cancer Fireworks, Matt Green out of Villa, they have been very, very, very good to work with the school, insurance, yeah, just, he actually started his show here now, been 12, 14 years ago, and he's grown, and he likes coming down again. He really does, so I think it's gonna be a nice addition.
So the total amount is gonna be like
11,500?
plus 2,500?
No, do 11,500.
11,500
Yep.
total.
I thought we had already approved that.
Well, I think I'm sorry.
I think we approved the 9. Did we not, Carol? We approved the 9?
Yeah, I think we had a 3-year.
Yeah,
And
we had the contract approved, but with the,
To increase it.
yeah, increase it, I think it's great timing. We had talked about it. We got additional information. We're gonna include some red, whites, and blues. tariffs, most of, shells come from China. So instead of reducing our show, we want to kind of add to it. So, yeah.
So do you need a motion to spend $2,500 more?
Yeah, and then for me to sign the contract now at 11,500.
Make a motion that, we sign the existing contract for 11,500. You want to vote on that and vote on 2,500 separate?
Which is a $2,500 increase from the
Okay.
original.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep, that's fine.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
Mhm.
Let's check my list. What's next?
I think it's just the playground and that, is that gonna come at the RDC?
Oh, yeah, Christmas lights. Yeah, Christmas, thank you, Christmas lights. So Sunday after Thanksgiving is normally when we do the courthouse lights, and that is a go this year. As of Monday, we do have power up in the courthouse. I'd like to thank the commissioners for working quickly on getting things cleaned up, and we found out the power was cut, but they took care of it very quickly with the contractor that was supposed to do it, and they came right away. So we're good to go there. We have a crew lined up. The RMC is gonna help with the pole lights. I think everything's in order. Yeah. And this is the first year, as of last night, there was 32 of 33 poles. I got the 33rd pole fixed, but I'd like to thank the street department for powering every pole. It's been a journey, I think 3-4 year project to get all the antique poles powered and redone. So this is the first year, 33 poles are all complete with LED garland lights. So, and I need to, unless some ladies want to do it, I need to go up there and fluff them. So, Chris knows this word, right, Chris? Remember years ago, we went around and fluffed them? But you'll understand, yeah, the bulbs are hid and I have to do it at night. You can't do it during the day because the lights go out.
That's the worst part of decorating.
Oh,
It's the
man.
fluffing. So really, you're not barking up the right tree.
I fluffed them for years.
Yeah.
Get fluffing.
We still have work to do. No, but it's a journey, and I'm gonna come right back in. I've been talking to vendors on lights. We've got a big job ahead of us for changing some lights out. We do have,
Get the arc,
yeah, that has to be a
Yeah,
nice,
that's right.
yeah.
We could get them during the day. He could be fluffing.
So, real quick, we've got a budget for next year, to spend more money on Christmas decorations. We have a lot of old ones. It's challenging. A lot of the brackets are different. So it would probably take a solid week for one guy and a bucket or a lift to go around, change all the brackets. So it's going to be a challenge just getting new ones, figure out what we're going to keep, and then redoing them all. But I'm going to start planning that this winter with them all up and go around and figure out what's good and what we need to change out. So I think Zane can attest. There's a lot of them that I mean, the brackets are a challenge. They're getting the problem is the wind. And Stan brought up a good idea. I'm gonna go up Rome City. They've got LEDs without garland, and we're gonna have a mixture hopefully this time. But the challenge is gonna be finding the vendor and finding the ones we want, and how there's so many different ones. So yeah, if anybody wants help on that, I really don't have time for another committee, but yeah, it may have to happen. So playgrounds. A lot of updates on the existing playgrounds. I sent you guys pictures, information, if you, anything on that, a lot of improvements. Any questions on the playgrounds, the existing ones? I'm sure you read it and see the pictures, so. So before we go on to the committee, Diamond Discovery Zone, is there any questions other than that, other than everything we talked about or anything else? Okay. So is this on the agenda to do this now, Vicky, or
Well,
for the approval? I'm
The
sorry.
money approval is down under the RDC.
Okay, well, so at the RDC, meeting, we got approved to, move forward with, spending, for,
They are recommending.
there, yes, of the 250,000, and we're gonna seek a letter so we can start after tonight, if we get approved, fundraising. And no disrespect, Zane, you're the only one that didn't come to RDC meeting. I don't think we're gonna, do the whole thing tonight like we did and spend another hour on it. I assume that, you either watched or spent some time looking at all the information. Jalissa's here, she's the co-chair, Jalissa Kessler. If you have questions for us, I don't think we're gonna go through everything tonight. You can, unless you want us to, you can go back and watch the meeting of the RDC. I thought it was a great meeting. I think there's a member or two here from RDC, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask us or let us know what you want from us. If we're asking permission to start fundraising. And we have information here. Jalissa has a lot of information and, yeah.
I'll just make a couple of comments in my takeaway. They reported that they had been to 10 different parks that are labeled all-inclusive. However, many of them just had one or two items that allow them to be labeled that, and this is going to be on a much, much different scale. And I've talked to several people that said one of the key things in those not functioning well for their families are they're not fenced in. And that is absolutely what you guys are planning on doing, as well as the turf or the
Pouring
terrain,
place,
whatever,
yeah.
Everything from parking lot to the actual play area. And a
Lighting.
lot of the 10 that they went to didn't take those things into consideration. So it is going to be, if they're able to do what they're planning on doing, it is going to be uncomparable to anything in the area,
Yes.
which is very exciting, I think. There is a need. There's a lot of families. They had some letters from different people. I spoke with a couple of families that have special needs children, and they are very, very excited about it. I never thought about water. That's a big deal. I had one mom tell me that they had not been to Hidden Diamonds for years and years and years just because of the water. They have an autistic child and he navigates to that. Those are things you don't think about when you don't have a child like that. So I think it's very exciting. I think the committee's put a lot of time into it. They've got a huge task in front of them, but listening to all of them, I think majority of your committee was at the RDC meeting, and they all, everyone that was there spoke. They're very passionate about it. So
we had shared at that meeting that we had been in contact with AWS, who is a foundation in Fort Wayne, formerly Anthony Wayne Services, and they are very supportive. She reached out the very next day and wanted to know how it went, and have been further communication, and our goal with consent tonight is to apply with them for a grant for the May 2026 cycle. So the letter of intent is due in January. But they're very excited, and they're continuing to fund. They just funded one in Angola.
And New Haven, I just
Haven,
read
so-
about, so it's a smaller version, and the one in Angola I have not been at, but that's on my radar to get up there, because it's brand new. See the scope of it and look at their financials, look at everything. And mainly mine is the surface, and talk about drainage and all that. So mine's a little bit different than equipment, but equipment's a big deal. But mine's the maintenance and upkeep, and there's only 2 surfaces you can use. So,
I need a motion to allow them to seek fundraising for this project.
I believe that's where we're at.
Make a motion that the we allow the Parks Department and the committees therein to seek, funding for this, addition to the park.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. The only other comment I thought about when you were talking is you do have already an extensive list of potential donors that you will be reaching out to.
And I've got to get on the ball with some local factories that reached out to me and they're already planning for next year. Not saying we're behind, but I know we're behind on trustees and other ones because they've already done their budget. So we're at a critical stage to get, I mean, we're gonna be ramping, even, you know, yeah, we got a lot of work to do. And I think we're all ready.
Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And I will say that, you know, I've discussed this with Carol and Steve. You know, this is not, it's not new, you know, doing a project like this for us. We're gonna reach out to the foundations in Oak County. There's a community foundation, sorry. And we're gonna run all the, am I speaking out of turn?
No, and I've already had communication with Margarita.
Yeah, so they know there's potential of us coming there. We run everything through them, you know, all the grant monies. And so we've done this on two or three other projects. So, you know, so we've got a plan.
All right. Casey, does that take care of everything?
I hope.
Thank you for that nice 42-page report.
Well, we spent a lot of time on it and we had meetings and I wanted to make sure, I knew it was gonna be a long meeting, make sure everything was in order and everybody in place, so. Yeah, I appreciate it.
It was there, I just need to look at it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. We will move on to street and cemetery. Corey?
Wait, we're missing the facade grant policy. I think we're skipping over.
Oh, no, we're still up in department. head reports.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Just
sorry.
keep
I'm missing
going.
that. Sorry, I'm off. Lord,
You need some water?
yes, I do.
I'll get you.
Okay, Corey?
Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even have the facade grant. You have that.
All right, here we go. For the month of October in the cemetery, we had one service and one disinterment. And for street, I'm sure everybody's aware, it's been leaves, a little bit of snow and more leaves. Other than that, I don't have anything unless somebody has any questions for me.
Are you a little behind on the leaves, Corey?
I think we're pretty far ahead. And it feels good.
Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I really do.
If I can get my neighbors to pick up their leaves out of there.
Who's Zane? Oh.
Boys were doing a pretty good job the other day.
All mine blew down the same time.
They fit in well.
Any questions for Corey?
Thank you, Corey.
Thank
Oh, I
you.
do have a question. Maybe it's this water and sewer department. They had a drive-in event there with some utility trucks there at the pump station. I just was wondering what was going on there, but I can ask
That'd be
Terry.
Terry, yep.
Thank you.
Okay, Terry. Water and wastewater, please.
If the council had a chance to look over the water and wastewater report, I'll try to answer the questions. I do know it's been 6 weeks since they talked to you, so things have developed. Well, first of all, our current cell phones for the 3 employees of water, Scott has been working on updating our current cell phones. I think they're version 12. He's trying to get us something better so we can go out and read the meters for disconnects and rereads and actually to communicate with them to set it up for the office. But it has nothing to do with the monthly reading. And then, and sometime, a couple of weeks ago, since we've had all these locates for this fiber coming into town, Raytel and Frontier and stuff, we lost our locator and it's a camera. And I went ahead and purchased one through the local hardware. And it's not gonna be a rigid camera anymore. It's gonna be a Milwaukee. And we have everything we own with equipment and saws and it's drills, it's Milwaukee. So I just wanted to let you know that's gonna be coming. And,
No, wait a minute. What happened? You lost it?
now we're losing the monitor. It's got like snowflake, you have lines through it.
Oh,
And then we lost, we can't, the camera's still
it's not
works,
working.
but we can't locate.
Okay, it's not working. You didn't physically lose it. It's not working. Right? Okay,
Terry answers yes.
got you. He said he lost it. I thought he lost it.
That's all I have to say.
Did you want to go look for it in the sewage pond?
Gotcha.
I do have a question for Mr. Terry.
Yeah, that was just service and.
Oh, that was service, it wasn't an outage? Wasn't a lift station pump or anything? Got some nice equipment.
Anything else for Terry?
Yep.
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah, thank you.
We will move on to old business. Okay, on to new business. The first item on the agenda is approval of the interlocal agreement with Central Noble Community School Corporation pertaining to the school crossing guard. This has been a long time in the making.
Do we have a clean copy yet?
We do.
Right here.
We haven't seen that. When did we get that?
Yeah,
Yesterday afternoon.
yeah.
Oh,
Was it
We
email?
got an email.
We did?
you might have got one, but we didn't
I
get that.
think.
That'd be Presidente information.
That might be my fault.
We probably wouldn't
Oh,
understand it
shoot,
anyway.
yeah. Well, let's ask Steve and Scott. Scott, did you have a chance to look this over? And it took care of all of the
Yeah,
points that we had made?
right, that Kurt talked about before his absence. There was really only two major points, and those were added and corrected.
Okay,
And the
So-
school board did sign off on them on Monday verbally. I don't think they had a document to actually sign at that time, but they did
well, this is
verbally.
dated the 17th by the school board president. So somehow that.
Somehow they must have got a document. yeah.
Between that meeting and today.
Okay.
So,
So you've looked at all that?
It did. It
They're
matches
doing
what
their
our
own
last,
training.
our last
and-
version that was sent to the school board attorney. It matches that.
So you guys are all happy with that?
We are. Yep, we're good with it.
So we just need a motion to cause Vicky to sign it?
Yep.
Okay, I'll make the motion to cause Vicky to sign the interlocal agreement with Central Noble Community Schools.
Second.
we have a motion, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. We will move on to redevelopment commission items. Steve?
Yeah, the first item is acknowledging receipt of the TIF spending plans. The RDC approved what's called the TIF spending plan. We had passed something in May that was kind of a basis for it. Every year we do it, and it's called, this year was called the 2024 TIF Management Reports, which summarizes the prior year's activities, and then it gives a 2-year look at the current year, 25, and then the upcoming year, 26. Well, the plan that the RDC then approved at its last meeting, and that's before you tonight, is something that matches what we know in fact to be the case, if you will, because it was approved by the council in the budget as far as the TIF dollars in the plan that we're sending to the Department of Local Government Finance is what has been approved in the budget. So that's the difference between the report that we did in May, that was also a required report, and then the one that is now before you. So it basically lists everything that has been approved to be spent in each of our 3 TIF districts for the following fiscal year 2026. And Carol then has this information. It's in 2 formats. One is a letter addressed to the DLGF that Brian Stolte, president of the RDC, has signed, and the other is a worksheet that just details a little more each of the line items. Carol, in turn, will then upload this to the DLGF website.
I don't think you have to do anything other than just, I think that was sufficient.
Okay.
Carol just needs to get it uploaded by December 1st.
It's already up.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, we'll move on then to approval of the RDC recommendation to spend $40,220 in TIF funds for the police vehicle.
The RDC approved a resolution of theirs labeled 2025-04, which approved the $40,220 in TIF funds for the police vehicle that had already been approved by the town council, and all of that money is intended to come out of TIF number 2, which was the preference of RDC, and which we had approval, by the way, of the town attorney Kurt for that allocation. It could have come out of any of the TIF districts because the police department and its services, facilities, and equipment benefit the entire town. Therefore, funding can come out of either any or all of TIF districts.
And you said 100% TIF?
TIF number 2. And I think we're asking for, since the TIF funds, we need, the RDC makes the recommendation, which they have, and the council needs to approve.
Are there any questions on the police vehicle funding?
We already kind of talked about
That's 2025 TIF funds or 2026 TIF funds?
2025 TIF funds, because the purchase is occurring,
In
has already
2025.
occurred.
Make a motion, we approve the RDC's recommendation for $40,220 from TIF 2 funds to purchase police vehicle.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
They have 60,000 allocated for that. In their spending plan.
We will now move on to approval of the RDC recommendation to spend $250,000 in TIF funds for the all-inclusive playground Diamond Discovery Zone. This would be 2026, correct?
No,
2027.
actually, it would be in 2027.
2027.
And so now that you brought that up, and I'm glad you did, it alludes to what we were just approved earlier, the TIF spending plans. Next year, in May, we'll do the whole show again of the management report for the following year, which is this year, and it'll also include a revised projection for the year 26, and it may go into 27 as well. I think it does, and we'll have to update the 2027 spending plan in that report.
And that 250,000, is that one tip, or is it split a percentage between tip 1, tip 2?
That's a really good and
Because I
perceptive
saw the emails,
question.
I wasn't sure that
and
the answer.
Well, I will give you the answer, and I hope I can. It's a very convoluted answer of sorts. The RDC approved the 250,000, and on 3 levels, subject to the town attorney's approval. And what they recommended was that the preference number 1 was we'd like all of it to come out of TIF number 2. Then the second preference, if that would not be allowed for some reason, because we initially thought, at least I did, that the same rationale ought to apply to the Parks Department, its facilities, equipment, and vehicles and whatnot, as to the police, in that it benefits the whole town. Well, lo and behold, no, the rationale does not apply. It's a different set of laws and standards, if you will. And so, the second preference then was, depending on the attorney's interpretation, would be to fund it 50-50, half out of TIF 1, half out of TIF 2. And the last resort would be, if it wasn't allowed at all from TIF number 2, okay, take 100% of it out of TIF number 1, which is where the Hidden Diamonds Park is located. And so the town attorney, Kurt Bachman, weighed in and explicitly said, no, it doesn't, the same rationale does not apply. And so in interpreting his conclusion, I felt he's saying it needs to be 4 requirements, 2 of which are met, and 2 are not. And so the 2 that are not are significant. It's got to be, well, the 2 that are met is it meets, serves the economic development purposes of TIF number 2, serves and benefits the economic development of TIF number 2. And I said, yes, it does, because parks, having parks, a viable park system in the community with their recreational equipment improvements are a component of economic development. And in that they add to the community's overall quality of life, attractiveness, and sense of place that serve as inducements to business attraction and retention efforts. That's what you call reading the gray areas here. You got to do this sometimes with these laws. I probably Tony won't agree with me, or Kurt, but there are times you got to do that. So it meets the economic development purpose. So that was the first yes question answered. The second was is it located either within the TIF number 1 or physically connected to it, or does it directly benefit TIF number 2? Well, it doesn't really directly benefit TIF number 2 per se. It kind of benefits all the districts, the town, but it is definitely connected to. It's located in TIF number 1, so that qualifies. So we have 2 yes answers. The no answers were, was it contemplated in the original economic development plan? And unlike the police department, their expenditures were contemplated, which was also a requirement for them, and it was met. In the parks case, no, I couldn't find any evidence that it was anticipated, so that's a no answer. And then secondly, and last, the fourth question, which is a no answer, was it listed in the annual spending plan? No. And so my recommendation that is going to actually come back to the RDC at its first meeting in December, and I don't believe should affect this council's action, and I'll try to explain, is that I recommend that they approve the resolution, the same one that they saw the night that they approved it, with whatever 3 funding scenarios would work out, and that we approve it with the revised payment all coming from TIF number 2. But then later, because this is not going to be until a 2027 expense, then let's revise the economic development plan then.
Then you'll have three yeses.
Yes, and then we'll do fourth, we'll have all yeses, we'll revise the 2027 TIF spending plan.
Okay.
So we'll do the requirement of the law, but we're maybe taking the, what's the saying, the cart before the horse.
A little bit, yeah. Which one's it? Where's step two?
TIF number 2 is one we're in,
At the school?
wait, TIF.
Yes,
Wait, TIF
Casey.
1,
Yeah,
2 is at the school.
And I'll
Here.
provide information, we definitely
This is
service
TIF one.
TIF number 2. I mean, that's I mean,
Oh, the school.
yeah, we work at the school all the time, they practice, they use the facilities for, I mean, I'll have documentation, so it's gonna be a 4 out of 4.
So we got some work to do.
Not, just a letter, not much.
We have some work to do before we can make a motion.
Well, I'm arguing no. I think you can, and Tony can correct me, obviously, I may be off base here.
I'm a little uncomfortable moving forward just because of the things that do have to be done first. I would prefer that we get all the requirements to be able to make this, to effectuate the purchases and use the funds before. So I think putting the cart before the horse is probably fairly accurate. The other thing is, we have not, our office has not received the economic development plans for the districts yet. We need those to be able to give you an opinion on whether or not, I mean, I think what Steve just gave you his opinion on the 4 responses from Kurt's questions. I can't give you, and Kurt couldn't give you an opinion either because we don't have the plans yet. So we need those so that we can review them and then we can come back and give you an opinion on whether Steve nailed it or whether we disagree. And you know, Kurt's not afraid to disagree if he does.
We got a little bit of work to do
Yeah.
before we can
Yeah.
do this.
And if
Okay,
it's not contemplated, there's a process, and Steve got into that a little bit. There's a process to go through to be able to make sure that it can be approved. I just don't know that you're there yet.
So the RDC has made their recommendation to approve the money, but where it's coming from, there are 3 options. Can't we do the same thing so they can continue with fundraising?
I think you can continue with fundraising regardless of whether the RDC recommendation to be able to use the TIF funds is approved tonight or not.
Or what if the council makes the motion subject to, proving it for one of the 3 funding scenarios, but subject to all the requirements that the attorney has already identified, meaning the economic development plan amendment and putting it into the 2027 spending plan? So you put a lot of
Because some of
caveats.
the fundraising that they need to do,
It's contingent upon.
they want to know that they've already got a commitment.
Did the town council do a letter of intent to support? Like AWS, that's what they're wanting.
Yeah, we can't move
They-
forward without a letter of intent, like,
Because they can't tell us at this point if it's gonna be a matching or what they would do until we apply. So that's kind of where we're at.
I don't know which would be better, a letter of intent or approval subject to legal, and I'm not sure which one would be better for fundraising purposes.
we were just told letter.
I can ask her more information and explain to her.
To me, all they need, the RDC is willing to do the 250,000. To me, I would think that like AWS, they don't care if it comes from TIF 1 or TIF 2.
Yeah.
They just want to know that the RDC and the council are on board with pledging those funds as a match to this project. And so to me, the resolution is way premature because we do need to do, if they are gonna be able to split the, or use all of it too, we need to go through that other process. But to me, the RDC's already said, yes, you can have your 250,000. If you guys say yay, get a letter to them, they can do what they need to do, and then we've got our work to do on the other end to open things up to spend more on TIF too.
I'm
Okay,
good
so,
with the letter of intent.
okay.
Thank you.
And the intent could say, I mean, maybe it could say something to the effect that you're supporting the RDC's indication as well to spend the funds.
You need a motion for a letter of intent?
Yes.
All we have to say is we're giving them $250,000 in TIF funds. We don't have to say where it's coming from at this point.
Make a motion, we issue a letter of intent to use $250,000 worth of TIF funds to support the Diamond Discovery Zone project in the parks and hidden diamonds.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments?
Do you want to add the little phrase as recommended by RDC? It ties the two together so that when RDC maybe revises its resolution or whatnot, it's already settled here.
Then that letter could be signed by council president and the
And the RDC,
right?
so I'll amend that
Can I ask a
motion.
question real quick though? Are you sure that because in Kurt's email, I wasn't sure if he was saying there's question about whether TIF in general, or is he just saying TIF 1 versus TIF 2?
Right now, there's question whether it can be done at all. But
That's
there's a
what-
process to be able to get it
Right.
done so that it can be approved. And I think that's a 5-step process that you're referring to
Yeah.
from his email. So I think you can still have a letter of intent tonight,
Okay.
but subject to all of, it's
Okay.
gonna be subject to all that process.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Let
you.
me revise that motion. Make a motion that the town issue a letter of intent supporting the RDC's $250,000 TIF funding for Diamond Discovery Zone, dependent on legal review and I guess budget, the modification of the budget or spending plan. Is that what I should say?
If that gets its way into the letter, it sounds a little too iffy.
Okay. Pending legal review.
I think it is still iffy. So I think it
Does have
has
say
to.
that?
I think it should, yeah. Otherwise, you're committing to it and we're not sure yet that it can happen. Well, I know that puts a wrinkle in the process, but
Now, I thought because the park is, the area is 100%
Yeah.
in TIF 1, and we've used TIF funds
100%.
for Hidden Diamonds Park for years.
Yeah, we've done
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah.
right.
I think it's questioned because our office has never looked at it before and we haven't seen that it's specifically, if the economic development plans don't clearly contemplate it, then it shouldn't be done unless things are revised. So that's probably just, the fact that it's always been done doesn't mean that it should have. And so, but it doesn't mean that it shouldn't have either. We just don't know. I can't give you an opinion on whether or not it's okay.
Jalissa, when did you say that the AWS is due?
The letter of intent is due January 16th with the award in May.
So the letter of intent is just you being able to move forward with the grant application, right? Do they require a letter of intent from us, or you're just trying to use that as supporting documentation?
I know they would want that as supporting documentation.
She said that, okay.
We've already established through Kurt's advice that there is a process, though, to make it where the park expenditures, it will be valid and allowed through TIF funds.
Agreed.
Okay,
And that's why I thought subject to legal covered that.
Have we sent the attorneys the documentation, the economic development plan? that they're
well,
asking?
I thought we had sent it to him a while ago.
I'm looking at the emails, because I'm confused, because I thought we did this 2 meetings ago when we were contemplating.
Well, no, I thought Kurt had looked at, maybe that was the other issue that he needed to see the economic
Is
development
he asking
plan.
for the TIF spending?
But it took us forever to find it, I remember that.
He said he didn't have the,
He says he's asking for the economic
It was the one that you
development.
found.
economic,
Development plan, which he has,
he's asking for some economic development plan that he says he's never seen.
Well, there was he saw something, but I forget exactly which, it was, it may not have been the original one, but there was like amendments to.
That's what he's asking for, is the one with amended, that was amended and approved by the RDC.
Says he's asking for some economic development plan that he's never seen in this email that he's talking about, Abby.
As far as I know, he hasn't seen it yet.
And you guys don't think the letter of intent there say,
I don't know, the reasoning for the letter of intent is because, so the lady that I'm talking to at AWS is just kind of the representative for the people applying, so then it's the board that decides that. So she's saying she's seen it go both ways. She's seen it like Angola was just a match grant. So that's why she's suggesting the letter of intent, because then we can show that any like potential contractors that are going to donate their time, that can be an in-kind donation. So she just said we need to have all of that kind of stuff, a good idea of it in line prior to the application. I'm concerned if we put the legal review section in there, they may come back and say, okay, we can't move forward until you have 100% commitment of this, not pending anything else, because if they fund us and then,
And
a lot can happen between January and May.
And the purchase of the equipment won't happen without a doubt until we get the funds raised, will be a certain component of it, and then the commitment from RDC/council in TIF funds. So it'll have to be resolved before we buy the equipment.
Right, but because we already knew the 250 commitment, that's why she was like, go ahead before you've applied other places and apply, because you already know you have that much, and they're not gonna do near that much, so whether it's a match or not, we would be covered.
In the letter, since the letter of intent, it's not technically a hard, fast legal commitment per se. Pardon me?
It could be binding.
Oh, it could be. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, that's why I would like the contingency, so that you're not bound. But this is due in January.
If we wanna go with the May cycle, otherwise we have to bump out.
Okay.
And we'd be in.
We have another meeting in December.
we have
one meeting in December.
Nothing comes up in my email when I type in economic development plan.
So I found two
And I
things.
don't think we're at a loss if we
What do
start
you
the
find?
application and then we have to pause. The applications
Yeah, it's a big
usually
deal.
are the same.
If we had it approved on December 10th, that would give you, if you could start, well, no, you have to have the letter of intent.
So two things I found. All of this came up with the child daycare thing at Central Noble. Okay, so first and foremost, Kurt requested an economic development plan then. He did not get one. We went ahead and we sent a letter of intent to Jamie Howard and Central Noble School Corporation for $125,000 from TIF towards the Central Noble proposal to build a new 9,000 square foot building. In that same email chains, pertaining to the child care center, we had Ligonier send us their economic development plan as kind of an example. But I don't think anything materialized after that. So to answer your question, Tony, we do not have one. I don't think we've ever had one. I think we got one from Ligonier as kind of a template of what it looks like.
And I don't have that.
Okay, but we did do a letter of intent earlier this year. This was dated 3/27/2025 to Central Noble Schools for that child care. Right, wrong, or indifferent?
You guys can certainly
Let
do
it
it.
slide.
I'm just not gonna sign off on it. You guys can certainly do it, but, I don't want it to come back and bite anybody.
Do you guys know the economic development plan?
He did receive one, I just don't recall which. There was a plan that was given to him, I thought it came out of research from the historical archives that we have here. That-
Well, I think the one that was in question then was maybe the roof. And because I found where we had like public construct or reconstruct public buildings included in that. But these plans, like these would have been from back when the TIFs were established.
Right.
So it's
Should be
like
the original.
before probably all of our time here, so we're.
Yeah, I remember it working on it because we tied the sidewalk in, we wrote a sidewalk, it was, yeah, I 100% know that. So,
Well, I don't think it's a question of whether we're in it or not. It's, do we have all of our i's dotted and t's crossed so that we can.
Why don't we table it till December and give them a chance to look at it,
Look at what?
to look at the economical development plan.
We don't-
We've had
That
to
we
have
don't have?
that we probably have, but haven't updated it.
There should be something from when the TIFs were established.
I have never seen it.
I'm looking at minutes from a meeting of the Plan Commission on March 3rd, 2021, saying that an updated economic development plan for TIF 1 was updated by the RDC and presented for review. Voted to accept it.
So it exists.
Hmm?
So it exists. Something exists.
Somewhere.
What do you want to do?
Well, it existed in 2021.
There's got to be a plan someplace. Lori found a reference for it.
Well, I want to say one more point. Technically, and Tony, again, correct me if this is too presumptuous, the town's isn't really committed until it signs a contract with the vendor for funds, and then we better have the funds in through via the fundraising portion of the project and the TIF funding portion of the project. So, I mean, that's when the rubber hits the road, is when we sign a contract with a vendor, and then
That's where the funds actually go out, but I think if you do a letter of intent, that makes it sound like you're putting the funds out and it's gonna allow them to get
Yeah.
matching grants, so, I mean, to me, that's hand in
We
hand.
want to do it until we're sure. I mean, I would feel much more comfortable tabling it, even though I know it puts them a couple of weeks later, but we don't want to do a letter of intent unless we're sure. I mean, if they don't want it to say pending legal review, and that I agree that it could, send the wrong message.
Lori, is that the RDC's economical development plan?
Yes.
Yeah, it was referenced by the Plan Commission, though, that they were accepting the RDC's TIF 1 economic development.
Have you started the application?
No, because I just got word this week on what to do, so, I mean, we have some work as a committee that we need to do, and she told us that usually if the application changes, that's, like, there's a good amount of notice prior to that, so we can get in and start working on it, and if we don't apply, we have to push it to the next grant cycle.
Yeah.
That's not
Not the end
difficult
of the world.
to do, so I think we can,
You can
while
have
you guys are
access-
doing your thing, we can
You can have
start.
access to the application before that. Oh,
Mhm.
okay, I thought you meant the letter of intent was what
I'm
gave
gonna
you
get a copy of
No.
this economic development plan sent to our office.
the one that I saw, that Kurt saw, it was some kind of, revised plan. And I remember it included the police in that. And I don't think it included park. So whether we can find the original plan or not, our intent is, I mean, we can amend the plan, whatever it says, to include parks. We can do that in the spring. But, so we can go through all the legal steps needed to make it legal to spend TIF money on the parks. And so therefore, I don't know, how you would think that the council's statement would be recognizing those future steps that would have to occur legally, but that your intent right now is you want to support this to the tune of $250K per RDC's recommendation. But the whole thing that Tony's saying, you know, subject to these steps needing to occur.
On the 10th, is that the next meeting, 10th?
Nine.
9th?
Nine.
That may still be the answer. I don't know. I can't tell you whether or not Kurt's position will change, but I think at least if you give him till the 9th, he can get you his answer.
Can we find that plan?
We've tried, and it's, so, you know, I don't know.
Well, if it was
What was
the
the
plan
date on the
commission,
minutes?
Scott's got it. He's-
March 3rd, 2021. I was president at that time, so I'm gonna check through my paperwork and see what that meeting might produce. Because we would have had to seen it in order to vote on it, so
so if
maybe
that
I
was,
got it, maybe I don't.
that was via plan commission. So Steve, those should be in your office. If I'm looking in the wrong spot.
March 21, 21,
March 3rd, 21.
because I was on the plan commission then too.
Yeah, you were vice president.
Well, let's give it our next best shot to try to find it, the plan, and then as Tony was saying, if we defer this to the December meeting, we can.
If you want to make the motion subject to legal and have authority to sign it outside of a public meeting, if we can get it done between now and then, that at least opens up a shorter window. But with the holiday, I mean, December 1st is the next day that Kurt's back in the office and probably not gonna give me anything. So it's not a whole lot different,
Right.
but
We want to table it till the next meeting, and I can talk with AWS too and see if they think that would done.
that would be great.
They're very straightforward.
Yeah, very straightforward.
That'd be great.
What's the official name of that document?
Should be the RDC Economic Development Plan, and it should be for all three allocations.
Yes.
Yeah.
And though, just so you know, those March 3rd notes only say for tip one, so I don't know if that's gonna
Only say for what?
tip one.
I'm gonna withdraw my motion.
Well, I think Jalissa can at least let her know that it's favorable, right?
We didn't let the air out of your balloons.
No,
Hopefully.
we don't give them that.
Yeah. And Matt can report that the council is favorable. You can send him a copy of the Kimball New Sun report.
Oh.
Okay.
Is everybody favorable?
I don't know.
We're favorable.
Yeah. Kurt just shook his head.
I mean, he did, he's not even here, but he did.
I'm sure you've heard that's not the first time this has happened.
That's right.
Okay, we're gonna move on to approval of the RDC facade improvement matching grant policy and application.
Okay, you have this before you, and the RDC acted to approve this or recommend approval to the council. And all this is, we had discovered through one of the more recent facade improvement matching grant applicants that the correct info was not on our website. And going back in time, the council, as well as the RDC, had approved certain changes, and it never made it to paper, and therefore never made it to the website. So Lori Gagan actually was very instrumental in documenting those changes, and we brought, that had been approved already by the RDC and by council way back in 2023. And that's what you have before you. It's all the changes that were approved already, now in writing. And the only additional thing that RDC added was that there would be a 1-year time frame to allow that the applicant would be required to start the project after it was funded, and 6 months to complete it after starting.
We don't have that
Did we
document.
make that, have there been changes made since October? I think that's the last copy of anything that I saw.
It's October.
I don't know
I'm
if
not
that's
sure.
even the right thing.
The
Yeah,
R was
we
at
didn't-
the
we didn't-
RDC meeting.
The proposed one on
Yeah,
March
mine-
9th, 2023.
I have an application with red and lined out and things like October 9th.
This year?
I think so.
Do you mind what was the, like, the subject line?
RDC minutes, facade grant policy changes.
Here's my notes. Yeah, it was approved by RDC. The original changes, March 8th of 2023, followed by the council meeting of March 14, 2023. So all the changes that are in the revised policy made back then are now in the corrected paper hard copy version. And the only change, as I said, that RDC made at its recent November 12 meeting was adding a stipulation that project had to start within 1 year of funding and then finish within 6 months after starting. And I don't know, I didn't answer your question. I don't know which version you were given, but it would have been shortly before the November 12 RDC meeting. And the only other major changes that were made back 2 years ago when it was approved by the RDC and council was that the roof category was reduced from 10,000 to 5,000. The overall grant was increased to $15,000 would be allowed. It had previously been 10,000, and it required proof of insurance, and it also allowed and defined the DIY process for any building owner wanting to do it themselves.
So the one on our website is wrong.
Yeah.
It
That's
just
where this-
hasn't been
that's-
updated.
Yeah, that's how this all came to light.
Did you find it? No?
Yeah, will you just go ahead and forward that? to
I'm
me?
trying, but I don't know why it won't. There we go. Forward. It was the proposed changes, so I don't have the clean final version.
Are you,
I have them. I think I have those documents here. Can I just forward it to one of you and you can?
I just asked AI. To provide the AI, give me the dates.
are you guys wanting to table this since we've not had a chance to look at it?
Is this from October?
That's when we think RDC approved it?
Well, no, it was approved November 12.
Okay.
October 9th is when I got the documents from Steve.
Yeah, I have the document that you redlined and changed the things that were needed to be changed. I think I just forwarded it to you all.
And then it's got the application with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Do you guys want to take the time to read this and approve it at the next meeting, or?
We'll get it done right now.
Okay.
As long as we've got it corrected, we can just.
There it is. Yeah.
Scan it and put it on the website, right?
Yeah.
As soon as I get a document, I can get it upload.
Why did they take the roof down to 5,000?
I think,
Just curious.
well, I would assume maybe Laura could provide the color commentary, but that they wanted to put more of the money in visible areas.
It just followed a long spurt of, that's all we were funding was roofs. And
I
we got
know
to the
that-
point where we wanted to incentivize
Roof is
Other-
so important.
other things.
I think at one time, the RDC, probably before your time, considered completely taking it out, and they got a lot of flack
Yeah, I
about
know.
that, because I sat on that committee that originally came up with this application, and it was representation of council and RDC.
With an understanding that they always be changed again, but we were trying to incentivize other types of improvements.
Yeah, that's all that was, for a good amount of time, that was all that was being done, which is very important if you don't have a good roof.
Right, but
However,
a roof is one of the most expensive things there is.
That's why I say we recognized when we made that decision that it could be reversed and changed at any time, because we just sort of did an inventory of all the downtown roofs that would be eligible. It's like most of
Hey,
them
Zane.
at that point,
Yeah.
so.
Your account may be coming in later than the rest too, so you may still get it. They don't all sync.
So there is a corrected facade grant application.
Yes, yeah, we have it, and it's, I thought of that before you, I'm sorry that apparently don't have it.
the RDC has approved it, and so they're asking for our approval as well.
Want a motion?
Yep.
Make a motion to approve the RDC facade improvement matching grant policy and application.
As approved. What's the date of that RDC meeting that they,
As approved by the RDC.
I think that's both, is the application.
Did you get that, Carol?
What was the date? November 12th?
Yeah.
Is it November 12th that it was approved?
Yeah, by RDC, yeah, set
Yeah,
the meeting.
already
yes.
see.
Good motion?
What?
Is that a good motion?
Yeah.
we have a motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Who seconded that?
I did.
Abby.
Okay, we'll move on to approval of our salary ordinance number 2025-17. This is our 2026 employment compensation.
I want to point out that I did amend the subtitle of that a little bit because Kurt wanted the amends and restates language removed. He didn't want me to reference the prior ordinance at all, but I did still put in parentheses because for tracking purposes and codification, it's a whole lot easier if I can know what the, preceding ordinance was. He also recommended taking out the exempt, non-exempt in the reports too. I have not done that. He had mentioned that before. That was something our HR consultant, New Focus HR, had us add several years ago. If you want it out, we can take it out. There again, there's the general statements on a page in that references that non-exempt are eligible for overtime. For ease for us, it's nice to be able to just refer, okay, who is exempt, who's non-exempt. We're kind of used to that now because we've been here so long. So we can take that out if you want to, the same with the reports too. But as you have other people come in and do different, maybe you have someone else in my position, someone else in payroll. I don't know, I just think it's easier to have that in the document, but however you want to do it, it's a council decision, so. just kind of makes it easier for us administratively to keep in what the new Focus HR recommended to put in there. Otherwise, the fire compensation, Tony had weighed in, and so the way I understand it, that is, it's okay the way that we have it.
Yep, and that matches what Bob and I had talked about. Look good to me. Just make sure you keep track of the numbers. That's the only thing I gotta.
15% numbers?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Have worry about, so,
Do we have to amend the ordinance every time the roster changes?
because it says 28 now.
Yes. And it soon, probably after their next meeting, it'll be 29. Now, they'd have to get to 34 before it would make their one, the 15% go up another one.
I want to say no, but if the numbers change, the numbers change.
Abby just brought up a good point. Can we just put a percentage and not the number of employees?
For which part?
Like,
That's what I was wondering too, is if we could word it. that
And then you
no more
just
than-
track it.
No more than
Yeah.
15%.
yeah, and leave it at that, and we don't
That way we don't
put
have
the
to
total
worry
number of
about
employees.
amending it.
The only thing is we do need to know how many for insurance
Sure,
purposes.
sure, and that's easy to do.
Probably don't have to have the number in here, the 28 number.
Okay.
But I think if you just took out that number, the rest of it can stay the same. It just means, I mean, it doesn't change anything. You gotta keep track of
Sure.
the 15%. That's the only thing that's really the concern. But that's a good point, because that roster's gonna fluctuate,
Yeah.
hopefully up.
Awesome.
I don't know how big of a deal it is to take that number out, Carol, but
That was another thing that New Focus HR recommended, that we put in the number of volunteers.
it wouldn't be required, so it's a lot like the exempt, non-exempt. You'll get from our office, only do what's required, don't do anything extra. That's typically our advice. And so you certainly can have that in there, but I agree with you, as the roster changes, that would require amendments to the ordinance. How often does that change?
It can change
It
half a
would probably be
dozen
the
times.
most likely to change than anything else on that
Yeah.
whole page, on all those papers.
So
It can go up and down throughout
Yeah,
the year.
So I like having it on there because it gives me an idea of how to calculate it, but
I do
that could
too.
cause a lot of amendments over the course of a year.
Yeah.
And that could change almost every meeting, I'm guessing.
Hopefully for the good.
Yeah, I
You know.
agree, yeah.
But yeah, so
So not having that number in there probably saves you from having to amend it quite a few times over the course of the year. And it certainly wouldn't be something that's required to be in there, because you've got listed, even if you have number 28 removed, the volunteers getting their stipend is what's required. So really up to the council whether you want to be able to keep track of it. It gives you guys some oversight also, because if you see that number drops to 27 and then to 26, you can make sure that Bob's getting rid of one of his paid part-time guys.
You could include on your monthly report what your roster number is.
Sure. That gives you the same oversight then,
Mhm.
basically.
easy breezy.
I mean, we could go count, but if you could just put it in there, that would be a lot
Today-
easier.
today's count.
Yeah.
0 days since last time, oh, I mean, 100 days.
Okay. Are we ready?
So do
That
I
would be
need
ready
to, I'm gonna need to
sign.
change that then,
We can still approve, but then it's just a matter of not signing it,
and
correct?
then just sign it at the next meeting.
What does she have to change? What's in this?
We're taking out
Let
the,
me just line it out and initial and date it.
right now it says that there are 28 volunteers on the roster. And as that changed, we would have to amend the salary ordinance every time there was a change.
Mhm.
So if we take the number out, If Bob just is diligent about his record keeping, then we're covered. And he will be, so.
Having it approved at the next meeting is fine. That's plenty of time for you.
Yeah. I mean, and they could also do it now if they want, if that's all right with you.
It is.
And then I could actually go in and change it on my computer and print out another sheet probably before they left.
Quite honestly, I want to give our employees the satisfaction of this being approved tonight.
You want to just waive the second reading?
Yeah, she's already got that on here.
Okay, good.
And then it's just a matter of not signing it tonight and signing the document that it's already been approved.
That's good. Are we
They've waited a long-
ready for that? Zane, you're like not saying anything. Are you ready?
So I'll say that I'm not voting for this tonight.
Okay, all right.
So, and it's nothing against the town employees, just with what we have coming in terms of funding losses, I feel it's better to do this in a phased approach, do something like 9% this year, 9% next year, if funds are available. So that's my thoughts on it.
But it won't change next month if we have a new document with the, okay.
And you are entitled to your opinion.
Absolutely.
So that's just my thoughts with SB1 coming around the corner and everything.
And you know what? That's what makes the world go around. And on that note, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the salary ordinance 2025-17.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
And all I have to do, Tony, right, is just say that I want to,
Motion to waive second.
I want a
Can't do that
motion to
unless-
waive the second reading.
Can't do that unless it was unanimous, correct?
You can actually waive the second reading.
But if it wasn't unanimous to approve it, so therefore it wouldn't be unanimous.
I'm saying,
How's that work?
if you approve the waiver of second reading, that doesn't change your vote on the
Gotcha.
initial.
Okay, I'm tracking now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can make the motion, and then as long as it's 5-0, then it can be waived.
You're only voting on the motion for the waiver, not the motion to pass the salary ordinance. So we can
Yeah,
continue.
make your motion. You're
I'm-
going to.
I'm making a motion to waive
Second.
the second reading.
Yes.
That's all I'm motioning is to waive the second reading. Now I need a second.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to waive the second reading of ordinance 2025-17. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good point. It's a good learning process. And we will not sign this tonight. Okay. On to update on board and commission appointments for 2026. Are we gonna, Carol, can we do just this one motion?
Are you, well, were you just announcing yours? Because the other ones, they're like for longer terms than 1 year.
There are several that expire 2026, but they chose to continue on. So like the BZA, president appointments, Terry Mager would like to continue, David Dunn would like to continue, oh, excuse me, no, he's not on there. I'm sorry. Terry Mager, Marta Amber, and Jason Koontz. On the RDC, all of those positions have to be reappointed, term expiring January 1st, 2026. Brian Stoley has resigned, and that is a president town council position. appointment, and I am, would like to appoint Brady Truex to that position. Mike Selby is the president, town council, and so is Lori Gagan. And I will reappoint those. Town council reappointments are Josh Kessler and Gavin Shalinski. Plan Commission, Kelly Spear is a president town council position, and so is, no, Tammy Cornish. Well, that's a county commissioner. Okay, I would like to reappoint Kelly Spear. And on the park board, Tim Keeble is a president town council appointment, and I would like to reappoint him. By getting a lot of this done tonight, it allows Carol some time to get all of the documentation and the oaths of office prepared for them to sign.
Are the town council, ones, the ones that are town council people, did they also say that they wanted to be reappointed?
Brian Stoley was the only one who did not want to be reappointed. Obviously, the school will be sending a new representation.
For Robbie Morgan?
Yeah, and they are going to be getting me that name, but they do not have it as of yet.
So Brian Stolte is the only one that wanted to be off, and Brady Truex is replacing him.
Yeah, and he's already joined the November meeting to get ahead of the game. Like, we'll be there
He'll be a
in
good one.
December.
So we have no vacancies then, other than the school one with Robbie Morgan?
Right.
Good job. So has anybody, so are we gonna elect officers then on December 10th? For us?
The office appreciates if we do that. Rather than wait till January, especially for payroll purposes, right?
It does make it easier to know going into the new year because there's a difference in pay between the president and the other members.
So we'll put that on the agenda for December.
I make a motion.
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and we approve all of the board and commission appointments for 2026.
One second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And for the council, or the council ones, which ones were those?
Gavin, Lindsay, and who?
I have Josh and Gavin.
Yeah,
Yes, Josh
Kessler
and Gavin.
Gavin.
Those were the only two.
I believe so.
And so Terry, Marna, and Jason on the BCA, were those?
Said those were president.
Oh, Marna is a town council.
Oh.
Sorry. But hers doesn't actually expire till June 14th, which is.
With Steve, did you get you and Steve get my email on these? Like on this, this is my markup here, but like a lot of these were marked as if they were 1 year, but only the RDC were 1 year. So I'm having to go back and look up the statutes to see the expiration dates and try to figure out who fits what particular appointment according to Indiana code. So anyways, that's kind of challenging to get through all of that.
It would be much easier if they were all December 31st or January 1st.
But when you have to go by
Yeah,
statute,
right.
like some of them are, their term begins the first Monday of the new year, which that might be January 7th
So that's why it's an odd.
instead of January 1. But you have to look at the statutes to decipher all that. So Zane made the motion, and who seconded that?
I did.
And I don't know who tracks this, whether it's Carol or Steve, but could we get an updated list?
That is what I will be trying to work on. It used to be the town manager. We're trying to do that and get things, and I'm trying to get it updated, but we're finding that some dates, are not correct. So trying to get it updated with all the correct dates is taking quite a bit of time because I have to go back through and actually look at the statutes.
Well, thank you for your hard work on that.
So I guess I'm still not sure who we just approved, but I guess anybody that is a council appointment, we're gonna say that you guys approved tonight.
Yeah, so really, I think it's just Marna Amber, Gavin Shalinski,
And Josh Kessler.
and Josh Kessler from the council standpoint.
Okay, and the Terry Mager, was that yours?
Yeah. Terry Mager was mine, the RDC, and Kelly Spear on the Plan Commission. And Tim Keeble on the park.
And Jason Coontz,
Well,
for BCA.
his is
Oh, that's
The
right.
Plan
Yeah, that
Commission-
was the other thing.
the
Tammy
Plan
Cornish.
Commission appoints him, but nobody else wants that. And he agreed to both positions when he took it. Scott, is that not correct?
That's correct.
No,
That is correct. When he came on board, he agreed to fill both positions as the 2 Mile rep.
Now, but he's appointed by the county?
Yes.
Or he serves as
No,
our
the Plan
appointment to
Commission.
the county.
Our Plan Commission has to put somebody on the BZA as a 2 Mile, correct, Scott?
That's where I was the
Because that's what
BZA
you were for a
president.
long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't Tammy Cornish a county council appointment?
Yes, she is. She's 2 Mile Radius
So
too.
we
There's
would
two
have
of
to
them.
have their approval.
And hers says
For
February
recommendation.
14th.
Both 2 Mile Radiuses are
Are
kind
you
of
gonna vote against it?
Yes.
EJT.
I don't know, I'm pretty hungry.
Carol, I have a lot of notes, so if you get into that and have any questions, I should be able to answer them. But we will have to do Tammy Cornish, and if you want me to call the county, I can do that. I think I did it last year. All right, can we move on now, Carol?
Please.
Okay, next is discussion on the 110 South Orange Street building, sell, demolish, or keep. Steve?
I don't have any update to give. We know we had one party look at it recently, a week ago or so, from the township. The township actually looked at it, but they've kind of indicated no present interest in making any kind of an offer. So we're back to where we pretty much started. We had 2 appraisals done. Refresh me on the amounts. I think one came out at 140 and the other at 150 for the range. Okay, 2 appraisals done. And now I think if the council decides to go forward in, I guess, any kind of an RFP process to offer the building for sale, we'll go through the legally prescribed process that Kurt, I think he gave us something in general, but we would rely on the attorney to come up with the RFP and to guide us in the proper notices required in the newspapers, things like that.
So do we want this to go back to the Public Works Committee? Or,
I think we're kind of, I know what Zane wants to do. I know what Abby wants to do. You guys know what I want to do.
I don't think we can sell it for that 145,
It's gotta have his name on
because there's a lot of work up there to do to that building to, I don't know that somebody's gonna pay 145,000 and put another 50, 80, 100, whatever it's gonna be in their building. And have a, setting it around $250,000 building,
it.
and it's not that big. I personally don't think we wanna put much, we have a hard time, we can't even put a roof on this. I've been on this council for a year. We've been trying to get a roof on, but we can't make a decision on getting the roof done. And now we've got another building that we gotta do something with. If you guys wanna shut it down and keep it, I'm good with that. I don't think we're gonna sell it for 145.
Well, he said we don't have to have 145 now. He has, the attorney has, backpedaled on that.
I said that the whole time.
No, not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Kurt. Kurt said we had to have the average of the two appraisals, and he has totally backpedaled on that.
If you were going to sell it for an economic development purpose directly to somebody, then yes, it would have to be at the average of the two appraisals.
But if we're just gonna sell it
But if
publicly,
you're doing a sealed bid process or an online auction or a live auction, then you don't have to, which makes sense if you think about it, because they don't want you to be able to sell it to somebody specifically for 100,000 when the average of the two appraisals is 145. But if you do a public bidding process and the best bid you get is 100,000 and that's your minimum bid that the council decides is fair, then you can sell it for less because you went through a bidding process. So both of those are different options, but the one that we talked about last time was a bid process, selling it that way, and you don't have to set the minimum bid at the average of the two appraisals. The two appraisals are designed to give you as a council an idea of what the property's worth, but if you have information to the contrary, that there's a lot that needs to go into it, you can certainly set it lower than that average.
But we did have to have the two appraisals.
Had to have them.
Okay, that was a by law thing.
Yep, that's required.
Okay.
I think it's just another money hole.
Well, the Public Works Committee, which was me, Terry, Corey, Zane,
And myself.
and Steve. And Bob, were you on that? No? Casey, were you there?
They don't want to throw them in.
I'm just trying to think who was.
I think Casey wants.
Well, anyway, we
Or something else.
I'm joking.
we had a consensus, and Zane was there, but Zane did not agree with the majority. We, three of the four of us wanted, not that I don't think Zane has a great idea, okay? Because frankly, I think the pavilion and the restrooms and, like the farmer's market and moving the food from downtown to there would be a much safer alternative. And I think that would be a great thing, but I'm not sure the public would go for it, and I'm not sure the public would love us to spend the money to do that. However, it's a great idea, okay? I do think it's a great idea. But like Zane was talking earlier about with the SB1 dollars and not wanting to spend that with the funding that we're going to be getting cut, and that's a lot of money to be dumping into that. So with that being said, the Public Works Committee thinks we should try to sell the building. So that was our recommendation to the council. However, it is not a Public Works decision. It is a council decision. And me and Zane are two council people. I'm on one fence, he's on the other fence. There's 3 more of you. So now it's up to the rest of you.
And just for clarification, I don't think we should go on an endeavor to put up with the pavilion right now. So I'm clear with that. So I don't want it to be framed that way. I think that we should keep the building. If it could be used in some capacity for the community, in the meantime, I think that's fine. I would like to maybe work towards and see if we can do a pavilion down the road, if we have the funds to do that after all the SB1 stuff shakes out, if we have TIP funding. I just don't think we should get rid of it. I think it should be used for the community in some capacity. That has been my thought all along.
Abby, are you on the same boat?
I agree.
But if you guys feel different and you want to try to sell it, that's, you know.
Terry, is that building, it's good for the winter right now?
Yes. It's winter.
It might be helpful, just by way of backdrop, to refresh ourselves on, remember the survey that was done. Weren't there 2 options that were, virtually
The same.
equal? One was to sell, and was correct, what's the other, to demolish with the future vision of converting
Demo
it into.
and pavilion. Yeah, that was the other.
I didn't really express my opinion that strongly at the Public Works Committee, but even from day one, I remember when looking at it, I had expressed some strong sentiment that you're never going to get that building back if it's sold, and if you're selling it for peanuts, and you got to look at it too from the standpoint of what's the town's resources to be able to eventually convert the building into something, or to convert the site into something that the community would be very proud of. You can't look at it as a black hole. You got to look at it as an investment. And I think we're intending to hire the financial consulting firm sometime this upcoming year. Carol, I think we deferred it to this year to do a financial study that would really look at what resources we do have. And if we're found to be flush, liquid-wise and so forth, it really behooves us to use some of those liquid funds.
Can we rent out that building?
It was rented before, right?
For no
No,
income.
we did that, it was in kind, it was an in kind. Can we rent that?
Yeah, there's a lot of statutes that go into leasing and renting.
Yeah, I was asking.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a good question. I meant for money, for like income.
Like lease.
It can be done, but there's a lot of things to go in to make it possible.
From the standpoint, Tony, of any landlord per se, or specifically to
Specifically
municipal?
to a municipality doing it, yeah, the leasing statutes. I'm not gonna be able to speak on them tonight, but they exist, and I know they're a little convoluted.
I think we also have to remember it's not just our resources, but there are a lot of opportunities given that it's in the historical district and there are grant funds available. I know it's gonna take work, but I think that it's worth it to explore our options that could help the community.
And just for the record too, I know there's different park codes. If it was ever turned into a park property, it spells right out in the park codes how you can lease and do all that. So it's pretty, in my book, cut and dry on the way the park can do it. So
You're saying the park wants to take it over?
I would.
You would?
What would you do with it?
Pavilion, farmer's market, get everybody off the corner, safer for everybody. Again, yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do with it to benefit the whole community.
Okay, so you're talking about retaining construction.
Well,
Oh.
it could
Change
be
a lot.
turned down, yeah, it take time to understand that whole thing. But absolutely keep it for now. Yeah, I mean, that property, just getting everybody off the corner selling food and having one spot for everybody doing music, downtown music area. Arts in the Park could go there. I mean, it could be unbelievable. You've got the parking right there. Part of the Channel Lakes Festival downtown. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean keeping the building in the.
Well, for now, it
Well,
means.
but it
keeping
means
the
not
building.
selling it to a business owner. Or to a.
That scenario requires the building.
Once we revise the economic development plan as well, and include park types of facilities and whatnot, it opens up the funding possibilities, TIF funds as well.
Like a good place for seafood restaurant. Let's get this done as soon as she comes back.
While she's gone, can I ask a question that the music
Matt,
reminded
don't
me
put that in the paper.
of? Do we, are we good for the Christmas parade with our, microphone / speaker situation?
I think so.
It was acting up a lot at the Scare on the Square.
We changed out mics again. You what?
You said Larry fixed it.
Yeah. Thanks, Zane. Yeah, we changed it out with the new microphone, so we're gonna give it a try in hopes that this style and model will work better than the other one did. I don't think there's anything wrong with speakers. I think it's just
Okay.
the vocal part of the amplifier.
I just want to be sure. That's important.
On the building?
Yep.
What do you say?
What are our options there? If you're ready to vote.
Keep it or sell.
Well, the three options are keep, demolish, or sell.
We narrowed it down to 2, keep or sell.
Okay,
Make a motion, we keep the building.
Second.
We have a motion to keep the building in a second. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
aye.
Keep it.
Are you heading the committee?
No, I'm not, because I know what I would do. Never mind. Let's just get this thing done.
So keep it and do what?
To be determined.
We'll create a committee.
Yeah, I think I like the pavilion idea, actually.
Well, the building is ready for winter, so we don't have to do any.
We can address this next year and the year after that.
Gee, no, no.
And then you guys can address it after the law. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move on to item number 6, the special event application for the turkey trot, November 27th.
I apologize for the late notice
It's
on that.
me and Daryl's turkey trot application is redacted.
I don't know
It's
why.
Larry's fault.
So
Must be top secret.
No, it's not top secret. It's the thing that we've done, so I'm on the Augusta Hills board and this is our 4th annual turkey trot. It's a community event and does raise a little bit of funds for our nonprofit organization. We currently have 163 people signed up from Thanksgiving morning at 8 o'clock is the kids run. 8:30 is the 5K, and then we try to get everyone out of there by 10 at the latest so they can move on to Thanksgiving. The Foxton provides coffee and scones and treats, and the main thing, because it is right outside of town. We appreciate that Scott and his team have helped us the last few years because the county didn't want to. So, it's a down and back, on West 350 North to North 350, just leaving Augusta Hills, going down the country road, turning around and coming back. And so, the main thing we need is just some support to keep everyone safe while we're there. I think you have everyone lined up for it.
Yep, we're good to go.
And then anyone who wants to come out and participate or just visit, it's a really good community event. So.
We do have all department heads signed off on it. Oh,
Looks like it's gonna be cold.
It is gonna be cold.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2025 Turkey Trot special event application.
Okay, anything else under new business?
We need to vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, we have a motion, a vote. All those in favor, our motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
I don't think I formally did that. I'll second that. Thank you.
My brain quit at 8:15 out of it.
Okay, now you got a motion and a second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Turkey trot's on.
Okay, we will move on to approval of accounts payable and payroll vouchers as of October 30th, November 11th, November 13th, and November 25th.
I move we approve the accounts payable payroll vouchers at October 30th, November 11th, 13th, 25th. 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Before we adjourn, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I apologize for the late meeting, but we are only here once this month, and we'll do it again in a couple weeks and be done for the year. So enjoy your families, and thank you all. I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.